Hey, family, hope you're doing well today. I wanted to encourage you with a few thoughts here. First and foremost, welcome to Life and Leadership with myself, Tyler Wooten. Go ahead and hit subscribe, follow, whatever it might be. And I'm going to talk to you today about being fit to lead. I know I'm talking to leaders and I'm talking to kingdom folk today. So I want to encourage you to be fit to lead. I'm going to give you 5 reasons why we ought to be fit to lead. As I'm sure you know, this simple truth, this simple fact that we are made up of 3 major components: soul, spirit, body. Soul, spirit, body. You hear me talk a lot about mind, body, spirit. I help leaders, high performing leaders, become whole in mind, body, spirit. Of course, soul is made up of mind, will, and emotions. So I kind of use those interchangeably a little bit. But it's easy as a leader to hyper-emphasize 1 or 2 of those, and we are operating 2/3 to max capacity. And I know what the Lord wants us to be is whole. He wants us to be whole in soul, whole in spirit, whole in body. And let me just speak to my church leaders out there. Man, it's real easy to put all the effort into just spirit. And all the more we ought to lock in on spirit 100%. The Bible even says that physical training is of some good, but which of greatest benefit is spiritual training. 100%. I believe in that. I believe what Paul said. However, it's easy to neglect our body, although our bodies we lay down as a sacrifice. We batter our body. But that word batter is talking about we discipline our body. We have some standards. We have some confines. We have healthy rhythms along the way. Of course, our soul, man, in 2026, at the time of this recording, the conversation of mental health. I'm glad we're having a lot of this conversation. And I understand what it's like to struggle in your mind, struggle in your mental game. Some of y'all know my story. I've experienced burnout in a great way. And the mind, the mental game part of it, I truly neglected, man, for a long time. Because all I thought I needed was the Holy Ghost and the altar. Come on, where my Pentecostal folk at? And at the end of the day, yeah, we need the Spirit of God, not by might nor by strength, but by the Spirit. Altar is good, 100%. We need the Holy Ghost. We need the altar. However, I encourage you to lay out all of these areas in your life and say, okay, am I fit to lead in mind, body, and spirit? You know, that term fit to lead actually originated back in the early 1800s, and this is what it meant. It meant that you had a healthy mind and a healthy body, and you were fit to lead because of your healthy mind and a healthy body. They would not deem you fit to lead if you did not have a healthy mind and healthy body. And unfortunately, although Christian folk out there, although our spirit can be healthy, if we do not tend to our mind, will, and emotions, our soul, and tend to our body, frankly, and I see this all the time, we fall out of the race too soon. And that's not the will of God for your life. He wants you to have a long life and prosper here on earth. So, yes, all the more we need to train our spirits. I agree with that. If you know me, I believe in that. That's a major conviction of mine. However, we do not neglect our mind and do not neglect our bodies. Okay? We need to put our mind and bodies through some rehab, some therapy, some training. We need to utilize certain disciplines. Okay, now we know disciplines follow vision. So we got to have a vision of what a healthy mind looks like, a vision of what a healthy body looks like. That's why you need goals. That's why you need accountability. That's why you need a trainer and or a coach to walk you along the way. That's why you need a good therapist and or a good pastoral counselor to walk you through the human soul, and they are a humanly expert on the brain and your soul. Okay, so I encourage you to not be lopsided completely to the point where you neglect your mind and your body. And I want to walk you through 5 reasons specifically why physical fitness is vital to leadership. And I know I'm talking to several different ages, and I know I'm talking to several different seasons right now of life and of leadership. But at the end of the day, none of us have an excuse to not become the best version that we could possibly be. Okay? You can absolutely be the best version of you. There's no excuse whatsoever. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why physical fitness is absolutely vital to leadership, and the impact and the effect and the results, the harvest, the byproduct of being physically fit. Am I saying that you got to go to the gym 8 days a week? No, absolutely not. That's crazy. All right. Am I saying that you got to get on some crazy rhythm and plan? No. I mean, we all have different goals. I'm encouraging you to find something that is sustainable that you could do for however many decades remaining of your life. And I hope today that I can simply convince you on why it is important as a leader to be physically fit. Okay? So number 1, this is crazy important. Number 1, the law of mimicry. The law of mimicry. In other words, you are simply being an example to those who are around you. You're being an example to leaders in your life that you serve. You've been an example to your organization, to your family, to your friends, to your social network. You're an example. And example goes a long ways. Sometimes all people need to see is an example of what it looks like to live a disciplined life. Okay? People will begin to mimic, because of this law, your behavior patterns. They will mimic your rhythms and routines. At the time of this recording, my oldest son, he is about to be 5 years old. And my wife is texting me throughout the day saying, hey, DC is, he calls it training. He's training. And he's working out. And he's, doing this exercise, doing that. He's finding exercises on, YouTube, and he's doing those. And I get home, he's like, Dad, I trained today. The reason why he's doing that is because he sometimes catches his mama and I working out, doing different, training circuits, or doing some type of living room workout together. And I talk about it, at the house. It's just in our conversations, the importance of being healthy. And my son naturally is doing that. He's mimicking that. And those around me in the workplace, in different workplaces, this is just part of our culture. We're healthy. We have these type of conversations around wellness and being physically fit. So the law of mimicry, I'm telling you, as you continue to improve as a leader and evolve as a leader and become more disciplined as a leader, watch those around you become more disciplined as well. They'll just catch it. It's contagious. Some of it's taught, some of it's caught. They'll catch it, right? Somebody said one time, you might have heard it, that you don't, I'll forget how it's said, but you don't reproduce like what you say. You reproduce who you are. And you as a leader, whether it's in a house, in an organization, whatever it might be, if you pursue certain disciplines, other people will catch on to it because you have now implemented it as a value in your own life. And that implemented value becomes culture, becomes harvest. Okay. And if people sit around in your harvest long enough, they'll begin to, come on, eat from the crop. And they begin to grow personally as well. That's why you want to have a certain culture in your organization of growth mindset, of evolution, of progress, of results. Now, don't be so results driven that you overlook the people. I'm talking about personally. Okay, so if you are a disciplined individual personally, that will begin to impact, yes. At the end of the day, I could argue that it could even impact your bottom line financially in your organization, because it's just your harvest now is taken off in a professional setting. Okay, so the law of mimicry, there's so much more I could talk about when it comes to that, but man, being an example as a leader, that's what you want to be. If everyone else on your team, if they were disciplined like you were disciplined, would you be satisfied with that level of discipline? Or would you be like, man, we really need to come up higher? Well, you set the tone. You're the leader. Okay? The second reason why physical fitness is vital to leadership. Now, again, we could get into much more mental health conversation. We could talk about being spiritually healthy, and those are very important conversations. But for this podcast today, let's talk about, number 2, mental wellness, okay? So not necessarily like the concept of mental health in itself, but if you're physically fit, if you're healthy in body, and I'm not talking about just the gym, by the way, that sometimes that kitchen work is the hardest work. Come on, because you got a plan for that, right? You can't just show up and just, healthy options just show up. I mean, you got a plan, you got to prep, but man, once you find that rhythm of healthy options and you get your shopping rhythm down and you find the key that unlocks your own body, it becomes very sustainable. And healthy options, there are very affordable healthy options out there. And man, it's just worth it. It's absolutely worth it. Okay. Let the food and nutrition be medicine today. If you allow food and nutrition to be medicine today, come on, you won't have to take medicine for the lack of later on in your life. Okay, so number 2, mental wellness. I'm telling you, it is the best medicine. Working out, being healthy. And for someone who has experienced great levels of depression and anxiety and some other things, man, working out, being active, moving my body, there are all kinds of, it's a built-in healing system that the Lord has established within yourself. We're meant to move. We are meant to move. We're built to move. Okay, move your body. Again, you ain't got to be out there running marathons. If that's your thing, that's awesome. But move your body, eat well, stay hydrated, get proper rest. Being healthy from the inside out in such a way will absolutely impact your leadership. 100%. You'll be sharper. You'll be swifter. You'll be more decisive. You'll be more clear in thought. Anybody ever had a foggy mind? Man, working out, it's like it makes the crooked path straight sometimes. Okay, move your body. So the first reason why physical fitness is vital to leadership. Number 1, the law of mimicry. Number 2, mental wellness. Very, very important. All kinds of articles and statistics on why or how rather it impacts our minds. I encourage you to go study that if you're not convinced. And number 3, creativity. Creativity. Being physically fit gives the leader the ability and brain space to use creative thinking to its utmost. Studies suggest that even moderate levels of exercise increase cognitive abilities, and will help you make better decisions, and design creative business strategies. So if you feel like you are in a creative halt, or if you have creative block, whether you're a writer, you're a planner, you're a strategist, you're a creator in any type of ways, man, go out and move your body. What I do, man, is if I feel a little foggy, I go on what I call a walkabout, and I'll go get some sun. I just walk a lap in the parking lot, or if I can't do that, I walk a lap around the building. I pull out of where I am, and I move my body. I don't just disconnect and scroll. I move my body. Okay. Now we're talking about a bigger picture here, just overall being healthy, overall being fit in your own way. It increases because there's a chemical response to being healthy. You are more inspired and motivated, and like I said a moment ago, you're more swift and clear in thought. You're more creative. Okay, so that's number 3. If you want to be more creative, bottom line, get healthier. Okay, number 4, productivity. Productivity. Just as a car that is top condition and filled with gas can go on long trips without incident, so a body that is physically fit, it can produce all that is required to produce. Man, we all want to be more productive. We all want to perform at a higher level for several reasons. Number 1, for impact, for purpose fulfillment, of course. And then other reasons as well. But the more physically fit you are, the more productive you are. I have found this time and time again in my life is if I'm healthy in body from the inside out, I am much more creative. I'm much more productive. I'm easier to be around. Right? I'm much more attractive in personality. I am lighter. There are so many benefits to being healthy. So the 45 minutes a day, give or take, of the investment and the good decisions in the kitchen and at the restaurants we go to, it is absolutely worth it. It will change your life. Number 5, last but not least, confidence. Self-confidence is the fundamental basis, not being self-absorbed. There's a difference between being self-absorbed and confident, okay? You can be confident. There's nothing wrong with confidence. We know our confidence primarily comes from, I'm a son or daughter of God. I'm chosen. I'm God's man. I'm God's woman. I'm validated, right? Self-confidence is the fundamental basis from which leadership grows. Regular exercise boosts self-confidence through endorphins. So it absolutely helps you become more confident. As an individual from the inside, it helps you become more confident in different settings and meetings, when you're speaking, when you're speaking in different speeches, when you're presenting, when you're making decisions. You absolutely are more confident. And we can probably all use a little bit more healthy confidence. We ought to be confident people, right? We're kingdom folk, man. Let's walk knowing that we're anointed and we're appointed for the task. God called me to this. And we ought to have the belief system. I've been thinking about this a lot. We ought to have the belief system that when you show up, now again, your confidence is from the Lord only. If I was trying to be confident, Justin Tyler, if I had to build my own confidence, I would have to sustain my own confidence. And man, in my own strength, in my own might, I could do nothing good, right? But if I'm walking with a heavenly confidence, it can shift atmospheres. When I step out in faith, in obedience, with confidence, we could change the world together if we all did this. You ought to be able to walk in any room and show up for any assignment, and somewhere in your spirit, you truly believe this is probably going to go really well. Now, I know some of us just cringed at that thought. But we ought to have that type of faith, knowing that God's going to show up. God's going to use me today. I'm a vessel. This is going to go well. And even if it doesn't, he's going to show me lessons, and he's going to make it well. But all in all, I know that if I'm truly leaning into the Spirit of God in this moment, there's going to be fruit. There is going to be harvest. If I truly do lean into him, this is going to go well. Now, maybe that's the episode today. Maybe that's the episode. Maybe the episode is for you to walk away, yes, pursuing being physically fit in mind, body, spirit, being whole. God wants us whole. He doesn't want us fragmented. He wants us whole. We're made to be whole, right? But maybe that's also what you walk away with today. That next room you walk in, next threshold you walk in, whether physically or digitally, you just have that belief. This is going to go well. You know, a lot of us have this question, what if it doesn't go well? What if it doesn't happen? And we get caught up in this 1% fear. We get caught up in this. But the question I have for you is this: what if it does? What if it actually goes according to God's plan? What if it goes really well for you? What if your dreams actually do come true? What if you actually do become everything that he has meant for you to become? What if your family really does prosper? What if you really do get healed? What if you get that promotion? What if you crush that speech or that pitch? What if? What if it goes really, really well? I encourage you to have that belief system today that with God, what is impossible with man is absolutely possible with him. Lean into his voice today. The late President JFK said this: physical fitness is not only one of the most important keys to a healthy body, it is the basis of dynamic and creative intellectual activity. I'm going to read that again because it's just that good. And it was pretty wordy, and I was moving slow. Physical fitness is not only one of the most important keys to a healthy body, it is the basis of dynamic and creative intellectual activity. That's good, Prez. That's good. The basic essentials of physical health, I said it earlier: sleep, exercise, nutrition, and hydration. All right. Hey, let's continue to become all that God has created us to become, and everybody can get healthy in their own way. Again, it looks different for every single person. And the question was asked, how do you eat? How do you eat an elephant? Bite by bite, little by little. How do you get healthy? How do you change your life? Well, at the point of a decision, everything begins to change, but it's little by little. And if you make a decision today to get your body right from the inside out, again, we're all in different journeys of our life, okay? We're all dealing with different things, but you become the healthiest version of you, okay? You make a decision today, little by little, I'm going to get better, 1% better each and every day, little by little. Go for that walk, up your hydration, stretch daily, take another step in a couple weeks, get a gym membership, get a trainer, get a coach, lean into that, get a good shopping list. There are several different methods of which you can get good lists, okay? If you're already there, take another step and then begin to spread the word about it. Become a health evangelist, a fitness evangelist, okay? And then again, as you continue to grow, everyone around you will start to get better because they'll eat of your fruit. So, hey, let's go and do it in the name of the Lord, for his name's sake, for the glory of God. I want to encourage you, if you have not already, to go to the link down below in the description, tylerwooten.com/greenhouse. That is GREENHAUS. You say, why'd you name it in a German way? It just looked cooler on branding. Simple as that. Okay. And it made me feel warm and fuzzy. I don't know, it just reminds me of a good cup of coffee or something for whatever reason. But hey, I encourage you to join the porch. It is the free tier. And I'm literally about to go live with the porch. I do it once a month. We have an exclusive community chat that we walk through and encourage and network, et cetera, and access to several video archives as well that will be encouraging to you. But join the Greenhaus Leadership Network. It is an incredible resource for leaders at this point all around the world. We're international now. And so click the link below in the description. I encourage you to join that. Again, there's no catch, absolutely free. Just jump in the group. I'd love to have you a part. In the meantime, God bless you. Like and subscribe. Share this with somebody that will encourage them. And I am in your corner cheering you on.